are. Two families, two parents who have worked their way up. One of the parents would say, I've started my way up in life. It's time for my child to enjoy his childhood. I want to bestow him with the best possible facilities ever possible. Another parent may stand up and say, I've struggled, I want my son to know what's the value of money. Both are equally right in their own ways. Money is at times a necessity, money at times is a luxury. As a student, a college student, I've spent my time with 200 rupees a month without a cell phone. My friends who sat beside me had a cell phone whose currency was probably about 200 rupees. Two people sitting on the same bench have different views on money. The language of money is universal and is taught and learned. Yes, today we are in an era where the financially literate experts have led us into a recession. They've gone terribly wrong. It is a proven fact that the stock markets, 90% of the people lose their money. But yet we continue to invest. Ironically, our nation is dependent on the stock markets and the movement of the stock markets. If you're brought up in a business family, the thumb rule given to you is, if I give you 100 rupees son, in 6 months you need to make another profit of 50 rupees. If your father is a government employee, set aside that 100 rupees, 10 years down the lane it needs to be 120 rupees so that at some point in time it will come of help to you. Yes, there are people who have gone wrong in careers, who've gone financially bankrupt after having a great career. My question to the house is, can we impose upon a 5th standard boy saying, I've struggled all my life, I need you to learn what money is. So therefore set aside money. Money needs to be earned. Money needs to be earned to know what responsibility is to move forward in life with. They say the best lessons in life need to be experienced, can never be explained. The question here is, money is not everything. Money does not bring peace, love, and happiness. For a little child to learn that, he needs to grow, learn, mature, and experience it. Let him learn it the hard way or the right way. Time alone will tell. Madam.
I would like to present Ram Gopal to this.
Tiny ants store food for a rainy day. So do squirrels. So why not young children start saving money? Parents need to educate their children to save money from a very young age. They need to give them enough pocket money to cover their expenses and teach them financial discipline. First of all, parents need to practice and then teach their children the difference between needs and wants. Needs are the basic necessities of life, whereas wants are unnecessary extravaganza. Even among the needs, parents need to educate the children to prioritize between two things. Parents need to teach their children budgeting. Budgeting is nothing but taking into account your income, your expenses, and leave a little bit for your savings. So here, the emphasis should be on savings. Savings of a certain percentage of income, say 10%. The savings should begin at home at a very young age in a piggy account. Later on, people can switch over to banks. Banks have various kinds of savings schemes for children. First of all, let's take the savings bank account. A minor account can be opened with a parent, either the father or the mother. By the word minor, I mean boy or a girl below the age of 18 years. In this account, you can deposit the checks that are drawn in favor of the minor, and cash also can be deposited. In this account, no checkbook is issued. In case cash is to be withdrawn, the parent has to give a declaration to the bank that the money is being drawn for the benefit of the minor. Banks do open directly in the name of the minor the SP accounts, where only cash transactions, where cash deposit and cash withdrawals are allowed. Next, you have what is called the recurring deposit scheme, where you have to deposit a fixed sum of money every month in a particular period of time. 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, or 60 months. At the end of the time, you get the deposit with interest. The longer the period, the higher the rate of interest you get. Then you have what is called the fixed deposit scheme. Here you deposit a lump sum at the beginning and withdraw the amount with interest at the end of the term. The minimum term being 30 days to maximum term being 5 years. And the minimum amount being 100 rupees, and there is no cap on the higher amount. There are two kinds of fixed deposits. One where you are allowed to draw the interest every month, where you get only simple interest and then you can draw the principal at the end of the term. Whereas you have the other one where you are allowed to draw the principal plus cumulative interest at the end of the term. In the former case, you get simple interest, and in the latter case, you get compound interest. The children should be persuaded or encouraged to deposit their maturity proceeds of RD account or lump sum withdrawals from SB account into FDR so that they get higher earnings. Personal experience, I was fortunate to have a bank right behind my house, and I did open 2 SB accounts for both my children and also 2 RD accounts, and instilled the idea of saving right from their school days. Friends, save and be saved, especially in this hour of recession. The man with a big cash balance will be considered as the king.
Dr. Ali Khwaja says money management is one of the life skills. And Dirish says it's purely subjective. It has to be experienced, not to be taught. And Mr. Ram Gopal feels that children should be inculcated the habit of saving, and the one who saves is the Lord, he says. Now, the question and answer session starts. Anyone can ask questions to the panelists. Yes.
In today's scenario, which is right? Health is wealth or wealth is health?
You have to define health. If you are including mental health in it, then yes. Health is definitely wealth, and wealth cannot buy you health.